Every single item in Fallout 4 can have a number of different uses, but I set out to beat the game without using a single one. The only items I can have in my inventory are quest items, and even they can only be used for their intended purpose. I'm not allowed to have any companions with me, and I'm banning the Minuteman ending, since the hardest fights for it take place at a settlement where you can just use turrets. Oh, and of course, I'll be playing the entire thing in survival mode. This run starts like any other though, with the character creation, and after spending some time staring into his beautiful, trustworthy eyes, I set the special stats for item not found and was ready to head into the vault. If you're questioning any of those special stats, don't worry, we'll come back to them in a bit. Unfortunately, during this sequence, a vault suit is forcibly placed upon your body and cannot be removed until you've picked up the Pip-Boy. So just know that for the vault, I went through it pretty much as normal, but just only using my fist to take out the rad roaches. Then I was able to pick up the Pip-Boy, strip down naked, and enter the wasteland properly. The early game mostly consists of trying to find any XP that's easily available near the starting area, but before we get to any of that, I do go ahead and scrap pretty much the entirety of Sanctuary. For clarity, the only things that count as items are things that will enter my actual inventory, so settlement building is totally fair game, especially since it is required to beat the main quest line anyway. However, since I can't bring any items into a settlement, all I have to work with are the things that are already there. After that, I head straight over to the Museum of Freedom. Not to actually complete this quest, there's no chance I can do that right now, but I did want to help take out some of the raiders outside to finally gain my first level and get a crucial perk for this run.
Oh my gosh, I die fast.
Survival mode adds 3 main things to worry about in addition to normal gameplay: food, water, and sleep. Thankfully, water and sleep can both be taken care of in a settlement, but for food, there's virtually no answers that don't involve your inventory. Well, other than one thing. The cannibal perk. That's right, for the rest of this run, every time I get hungry, the only way I can satisfy that is by eating someone, which comes with its own benefits and drawbacks in the form of dark craving. Dark craving is a unique addiction that comes with the cannibal perk, which interestingly makes it to where you stay full for longer, but then immediately go straight to ravenously hungry. In addition to a heavy AP penalty, while ravenous you have a -8 endurance. So just know for this run, anytime you see I'm missing a lot of AP, I'm also 1 tickle away from death. After gaining access to the food source that is the dead raiders outside of the Museum of Freedom, I began wandering the wasteland around Sanctuary to look for any enemies I could beat for XP, which was humbling to say the least.
Oh, wait, hold up.
I looked away for 2 seconds, that sucks. At level 2, I took the Blitz perk from the Agility skill tree, which is why I needed to start with an Agility of 8. The Blitz perk drastically increases your melee range in VATS. Since punching is the only way I can deal damage in this run and I don't have any armor to reduce the amount of damage I take, Blitz is kind of my only way to close the distance with any enemies holding a gun. Shortly after, I took Idiot Savant, which is the reason for 5 luck. I really have no need for intelligence in this playthrough, so the only way to increase my XP gain will be through Idiot Savant. While this run wouldn't really even be able to get off the ground without the Blitz perk, I do have to mention that it is probably the buggiest part of this game that I've ever seen, and that is truly saying something. VATS and melee ultimately just don't play very well together. Oftentimes you'll try to hit something and VATS will just not do it for seemingly no reason, but still teleport you to standing right beside them. What happened? What happened? My VATS just can't. This is why I don't normally play with VATS. And other times, it will completely clip you out of bounds to try to attack a target, causing some interesting situations.
Oh goodness, did I just get stuck in here? Y'all, I can't make this crap up! Why? Why? What is this? What purgatory have I entered? Wait, come back! I need to punch you! Oh, come on, let me punch you! Wait, maybe? Yes! The same jank that got me in, got me back out!
During my quest for early game levels, I naturally came across the Drumlin Diner. And if you weren't aware, I have a bit of a history with Trudy, so there was no chance I was leaving there without taking her down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a crit. Is she already dead? Holy crap.
In addition to gaining enough XP to level up, Wolfgang also forcibly stuffed some caps in my pockets, which does bring up another topic I need to discuss. Caps are in an interesting state in Fallout 4. They work a lot more like a statistic than an item in your inventory. There's no way to drop them, you can't put them in a container, and really the only way to get rid of them is to either spend them or craft something with them at a settlement. I literally can't get rid of the caps. And with the way that they work so differently than other items, I did decide to allow myself to use them. In a couple of the major settlements, you can pay to rent a bed, which can be helpful to save the game there in survival mode, but mainly, you can use them to pay for the services of a doctor. Doctors are currently my only way to get rid of radiation, and for the entire run will be the only way that I can remove illnesses. The illnesses in survival mode are incredibly punishing in the early game, as is evidenced here by me taking one tick of an infection. Because they're in a weird place, and to make the early game just a bit more manageable, I decided not to count caps as items and that I could use them for these limited applications. And even then, I can't pick up caps from anywhere in the wasteland. I can only use the ones that are forced on me as a quest reward. And if you have a problem with the way that I've ruled this, I recommend you schedule a visit with your local optometrist, because if you think this run needs to get even harder, you need to get your eyes checked. At this point, I was really struggling to find any significant sources of XP that wouldn't just kill me. So I decided to try some early game settlement quests, since that is sort of what the game expects you to do first. I started with Starlight Drive-In, which I could only narrowly clear out.
Excuse me? What is happening? What is happening?
And even after that, I just found that the workbench is behind a novice lock. And since I can't pick up bobby pins,
If you don't have lockpicks, you can't get Starlight Drive-In? Are you serious?
from there I headed off to Covenant, which is a very appealing settlement, as it's already fully stocked with settlers and has more unique junk items in it than probably any other settlement obtainable at this point in the game. Unfortunately though, after spending multiple hours trying to complete the quest to obtain Covenant as a settlement, I discovered that the only way to do so without picking up any unnecessary items would be to pass a very hard speech check, and my charisma's a 3.
Hello.
Enjoy your stay.
Gosh, this lady freaks me the crap out.
Enjoy your stay. Enjoy your stay. Enjoy your stay.
I can't listen to
You
it too
here
many
to
more
shop?
times, y'all.
Enjoy your stay.
Enjoy your
You here to
stay.
shop? Enjoy your joy your stay.
So at this point I gave up on settlements for a bit and figured I would head over to Cambridge to meet up with Paladin Dance. I feel I might have been a bit too harsh against the Brotherhood of Steel in my last couple of Fallout 4 videos, so even though I really don't like them, I figure I'll at least give them their fair chance. So I decided for this run I will side with the Brotherhood of Steel to see if maybe there's more to them than meets the eye.
I'm such an idiot. All right. Party.
So with that being the case, I figured now is as good a time as any to go on and clear out ArcJet with Dance. And by that I mean mostly watch Dance clear out ArcJet while I trail behind him and occasionally light him on fire. Other than a minor amount of quest XP, the actual quest to recover the deep range transmitter is not what's significant here. What is important at ArcJet is that inside is a military-grade circuit board just laying on a table. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I do have a checklist in the back of my mind of a couple of really key items that we will need in order to build a teleporter to get into the Institute later in the main questline. One of those items is a military-grade circuit board.
Man, if only I could somehow get this out of here, but I cannot. That's the bummer, is that any... Wait, hold up. Could I get this out of here? So this should follow me out. This is the only way you can take like an item through a load zone like this. Oh, it's still here.
As I've said before, I can't keep anything in my inventory that you're allowed to drop on the ground, and even though a military-grade circuit board is required for the quest, it's not actually a quest item. So I had to find a way to get one to a settlement without ever putting it in my inventory. For whatever silly reason, in Fallout 4 you can actually pick up an item and hold it out in front of your character without actually picking up the item and adding it to your inventory. So I drug that military-grade circuit board onto the elevator and then levitated it in front of me all the way to Red Rocket, where I was able to store it in the workshop for later. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, I was approaching 5 hours into the run at this point and had only leveled up 5 times so far. This rate of XP gain was just not sustainable for the rest of this playthrough, so I finally caved and decided to abuse settlement XP. I had originally decided not to use this method to gain XP because it felt a little cheap, but as difficult as this run is turning out to be, it felt pretty warranted. So I headed over to Sunshine Tidings Co-op, took out the ghouls, scrapped everything around me, and turned all of it into shelves. In case you're unaware, shelves cost either 2 steel or 2 wood and give you 2 XP per shelf. You can then scrap them for 1 of those materials back, effectively meaning that you can turn every single piece of wood and every single piece of steel into 2 experience points.
Are we all having a good time?
Just using shelf spam 1 time gave me 5 levels, which, if you recall, is the total amount of levels I've gained up until this point with everything else we've done. With these levels, let's talk about a couple of important perks we've recently picked up. For one, we grabbed Lone Wanderer for some general extra damage resistance, but more importantly, we grabbed Ninja and 2 levels in Sneak. For whatever reason, unarmed attacks get the same damage increase as ranged attacks with the Ninja perk rather than the same damage increase as melee attacks, but even still, it's too good of a damage boost to pass up, allowing us to oftentimes do a chain of very strong attacks with Blitz before engaging in a fight. More importantly than all of that though, I got Iron Fist rank 2. The reason Iron Fist 2 is such a big deal is it gives your unarmed attacks a chance to disarm enemies. Once you've disarmed them, they'll begin fighting you with their fists, allowing me to have a fair brawl between me and them. In order to put our new perks to the test, I decided to go clear out Corvega so that I could secure 10 Pines as yet another settlement.
Come on. I didn't even need that crit. That was so overkill. Holy crap, we did it. Okay, I just have to get out alive. That's it. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh, freaking. We just have to wait till we're hidden and then run like crazy.
Surprisingly, I was even able to get out without getting slaughtered by the turrets to go turn the quest in at 10 Pines and resume my shelf spamming. Now, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead here a little bit because the next chunk of gameplay is a combination of Radiant quests for the Brotherhood of Steel and shelf spamming at any settlements I come across. At this point, I thought I might have been getting strong enough to actually make some headway on the main quest line, so I headed over to Diamond City, mostly for the quest completion XP,
Ooh, just doing your job.
and then went over to try to save Nick Valentine.
Why does he have so much health? Why is there another one? Why was he just taking a poop? Dang it!
Yeah, I was wrong. I was nowhere near ready to take on the Triggermen, especially since when you first enter the metro tunnels, there's like 4 of them in an open area, and absolutely nothing I can do to combat that, so I gave up with the intent to try again later. I didn't want this to be a wasted trip though, so I did head over to Hangman's Alley to try and secure another settlement near Diamond City and be able to do a bit more shelf spamming, but I ran into an issue when I realized that both sides of Hangman's Alley are completely locked. I did find a weird parkour route in, but once in, the only way out would be either by scrapping the wall in the way or dying, and guess which one kept happening? Feeling increasingly frustrated by how this was going, I decided to head back to the easy area of the map to try to actually save Preston, who's still been in the Museum of Freedom this entire time.
There's a crashed vertibird up on the roof.
There's a crashed vertibird up on the roof. You know, it was only a matter of time before I missed that jump on one of these runs. Crashed vertibird up on the roof. I fell. There's a crashed vertibird up on the roof. Ah, we made it. Okay. Trigger the Deathclaw, run to Red Rocket. So we can come back and watch him kill everybody. We're going to do all of this and then die and have to do it all again. And this is why I wanted to wait until later in the run. Because he definitely one-shots me. So as soon as he hits me, I'm dead. I mean, I've got technically 15% off of... Yep, there it is.
Bastard.
Owie. Whoa, he just threw that car. So you're saying there's a chance. The Deathclaw is running away. Where'd the Deathclaw go? No shot they actually killed him. Completed clear conquered of hostiles. What? Where's the Deathclaw? I'm so confused. They killed him. We take those?
At this point, I could see level 20 approaching on the horizon. See, level 20 is incredibly significant because it's when I finally have the ability to take Life Giver rank 3. Life Giver 3 is a massive upgrade because it gives me passive health regeneration. See, up until this point, the only way to restore lost HP was either through eating people or sleeping in a bed, both of which tend to accelerate the rate at which you get illnesses, which makes the game even harder.
Those are 2 level ups. Life Giver 3! Let's go, everybody! Why did they all play at the same time?
Now with Life Giver, I had the confidence to take another crack at making forward progress on the main quest line, so I was off to Park Street Station, determined to save Nick this time.
Crap, there's a dude right there that's shooting at me. I'm so dead. Frick! Don't come check my stall. I'm pooping. He came through the door before the door was open. Okay, so interesting. Once I disarm them, they don't seem to pick their weapons back up. Okay. Where did he just pull that from? Drop it on the ground, punk. He actually punch killed me. That was the best chance I'm ever gonna get. Where did he pull that submachine gun from? Where was it? All right, let's see if we can get him disarmed. Come on, let's get lucky. Come on. Why? It only did twice. I had 3 hits. Why did he only punch twice? They might be like zoned. The game might have them zoned where they don't come up here and they don't come down here. And if that's the case, then I can work with this. Run. Frick! That one all went so well, and then that last freaking, it had to be him. It had to be one with the most health and a gun.
So after spending a lot of time there with absolutely zero progress, I figured let's try another previously failed challenge and head back over to Hangman's Alley. At least we could get that this time.
Oh, I'm also taking 20% extra damage, and I have minus 50% AP. I have multiple diseases right now. Okay. We're in and hidden. How not? How 0? I right there. I don't know what to do, other than probably die. I'm just straight up dead. Yeah. There's no shot I'd take Hangman's Alley right now. They're all way too high a level.
Feeling the crushing weight of defeat even more, I decided to head over to Backstreet Apparel, which is a location I had been asked to clear out by another random settlement quest.
Oh, I forgot about the freaking turret. I forgot there was a turret over there. Alright, so that solves the problem I was having before. Got him. Alright, alright. Yo, we're making headway on this place. Yeah, that's a concerning lineup. Please let me stack this crit. We run. Oh! I thought she had something that could kill me in one shot. That's gonna be a problem. Yeah, I don't think it's worth the time investment. Ah, that's annoying. That's so annoying.
Being honest, I was just starting to feel demoralized at this point. I had spent hours doing effectively nothing. So what could I do other than trek my way all the way back to Sanctuary and pick up where I left off? This time I went all the way to level 25, which I put most of my points into endurance.
Everybody want to hear something that's truly an abomination to experience? Gosh, that was so loud. Holy crap.
With that, I figured I would tentatively take on the easiest of the 3 challenges I just failed and head back over to Backstreet Apparel.
How does this work? Somehow I took out that turret. Munchy munchy.
If I could find a nearby bed, I could guarantee clearing this place.
Oh, get her, get her, get her, get her. Big punch. Don't you do that. Yeah, get that weapon out of your hands. Oh gosh. You punch hard. I swear I blocked. Oh, knee to the face. Let's go. We're going for it. Oh, that's big damage. I gotta get rid of Clutch before I deal with him. I got her. I can just run from him. I can just run from him, and that is what I am doing. I'm not doing this again. I swear I blocked. I swear I blocked. I hit open. Please tell me I'm not dead. Please tell me I'm not dead. Don't do it. Please, I don't want to do it again, please. What? Why did that one and that one alone follow me out? What was that? The other ones didn't do that. Oh. So you're saying there's a chance? Get him out of here. Yo, we did it, by the way. That's a new settlement.
I did sleep first and reload until I got the now 5 times Idiot Savant proc on turning the quest in.
I think I ever told you.
Gah!
Actually, it was all of that combined got me to level 27, where I could finally take the second rank of solar powered. So this is the point where I need to tell you that I lied. I have been counting caps as items this entire time. While I personally don't believe they should count, I know that the court of public opinion on the internet would disagree with me. So I haven't used a single cap this entire time, nor will I for the remainder of the run. Cancel that optometrist appointment because I did make this run even harder. Over the course of the last 27 levels, I've avoided radiation so aggressively that I've only lost about a third of my health in all of that time. And I've never once went to a doctor to heal an illness. If you didn't know, illnesses do eventually go away on their own, even though that can take up to a week for some of them. And since I'm only surviving off of corpses, I'm getting illnesses constantly, so at all times assume that I've had 2 or 3 at least. However, I didn't want there to be a doubt in anyone's mind that I did this completely legitimately. So now that I've gained solar powered rank 2, my radiation will slowly heal itself so that I can finally get back to having my max HP.
My radiation is going away. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
With significantly more health, I decided that I was going to save Nick Valentine if it killed me. So I marched right back down to Park Street Station and decided that I wasn't going to leave until I was leaving with that beautiful synth in a trench coat.
Oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot. Ah, crap! We're not in a good spot. We're not in a good spot. Ah, why is he trying to shoot me in the feet? That's weird. You perv, get out of here. What is he doing? Gosh. Okay, the bathrooms are a death trap. The bathrooms are a death trap. We do not go in the bathrooms. No peeing, no pooping. Bad idea. Oh, come on. Kill him. Kill him. Stop slow-moing and kill him. Go, 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 go. Holy crap, we've killed one. We killed one. We killed one. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Yes! But we freaking did it! There's still a dude in here taking a dump. I know there is. We're gonna kill him right now. Wow, he has a lot of health. Get out! What did he just do? You're not a ninja. It's not allowed. You think you know anything about fisticuffs, my boy? Try being constantly naked and hungry and thirsty and tired and having no other friends to rely on but your fists. It gets lonely. Sorry, I did lose myself there a bit. Oh, we did the neck snap. Wait, don't do it again. You already snapped his neck. You can run away now. This is going so well now. It's crazy how much of a difference like 6 levels can make. Maybe 7, 5, 6, 7, a few. Frick. Ah! I almost made that work. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Using a stealth boy or something?
No, I'm not using a stealth boy or something. We're in a fist fight. Using a stealth boy or something? I can't see too good. You done punched my eyeballs out. Man, this is rough to watch. Death from above. Wait, I've already damaged him. How'd you get down here like that? Or did he fall? Is this a guy who fell down in here? Because if so, that's hysterical. Where'd that come from? Well, I hate to, point out the obvious, but likely from behind you there, Dino. Come on. Come on. Yes! Oh my gosh, that was an aggressive death.
But once I beat Dino in honorable combat and saved Nick, at least for the remainder of the vault, I had someone else there for the triggerman to be shooting at, so it wasn't nearly as difficult.
Oh, Nick's wanting to get in on the fun. He's like, oh, we're punching.
They're here somewhere.
In here somewhere. Nick, he just hit you in the face with a baseball bat. What do you mean he's in here somewhere? Of course he's in here somewhere. This is so fun. The run is finally fun, everybody. I'm having a good time. Yeah. Me and you fist fight while those two gunfight. This is so great. I love this. So dumb. The grunts. This is so dumb. Okay, I'm getting punched. I went into VATS and I'm the only one who got punched. It's so glitched out. It takes so long. Oh, he's healing, that's why. Why is he so stinky? That's the best thing I can think to say right now. Oh, that one hurt. Let's go!
Dollar, I'm handling this.
Dollar, I'm handling this.
Always got
Freaking
things
love
under
Skinny Malone. It's a bummer. I'm gonna
yeah?
probably
And what's
end up
this
having to
guy
kill him.
doing here?
Come on, just work.
You're right.
And the yeah. Sometimes the luck just comes back around. Sure, with 60 tries we couldn't get one speech check in Covenant, but with one try we get to walk out of fighting Skinny Malone, and I'll friggin' take it. Relieved that I didn't have to find a way to deal with all of that, I was off to Diamond City to be gifted the key to Kellogg's house, make Dogmeat sniff a cigar for literally no reason, and then head straight for Fort Hagen because I was on a roll. Clearing out the synths in Fort Hagen was painfully slow, but surprisingly functional. Well, at least until I ran into a laser turret that I couldn't reach, but thankfully I could just run past that. However, it was becoming painfully apparent that I had no chance of taking on Kellogg right now, especially when I made it to a long hallway with 2 synths in it and realized that I had no means of actually beating them currently. So I decided to leave to get a couple more levels. Nope. I actually needed 1 though, because my next level up was level 29, which is when you unlock Blitz Rank 2. Blitz Rank 2, in addition to further increasing your range of melee to an insane degree, also gives you a damage multiplier based upon how far you traveled when you use Blitz. The beauty of it, that multiplier then applies to every hit on that target in that round of VATS, meaning you can stack up some insane damage with it. This perk gave me the damage boost I needed to stand a chance here, especially since it also stacks with the sneak attack damage. It was actually pretty easy to clear the rest of the synths and turrets between me and Kellogg, but Kellogg himself was still as hard as you would guess.
So we need to go eat somebody, because yeah, like right now, if we hit our stats here, we have -8 endurance, -2 luck, and 20% extra damage. So we need to just go find a dead body to eat, and some water, and then we can come back and give this the old college try, as it were. I don't know where the heck I'm going. I came from this way, but that door is now closed. Can I not leave? Y'all, can I not leave? What happens if you can't leave, but you also can't kill him? Y'all, how the crap do I get out of here to go eat a dead body? Am I like literally trapped in here until I can kill Kellogg? Because if that's the case, I could be soft locked. So y'all, this is bad. This is aggressively bad. I have no endurance. You know, the thing that lets you take hits? I also have like no AP, which is the thing that lets me deal hits. Maybe they're locked in here with me, you know? Maybe that's actually how this is. Probably not, but maybe it's them that's locked in here with me. Get the disarm. Get the disarm. Did he just pull out another one? No, it's a pipe revolver. It's a pipe rifle.
Kellogg pretty much always spawns with 2 guns for whatever reason. My usual tactic of disarm and fight in a brawl wasn't really working that well against him because I had to disarm him twice. However, I did find something incredible.
Kellogg's just standing right freaking there.
His AI kind of freaks out if you don't actually talk to him the way you're supposed to when you enter the room. And since I certainly wasn't doing that, I found some ways to exploit this.
He's just never gonna move again, huh?
If you get hidden after initially engaging with him and you haven't talked to him, wherever he is when you get hidden, he'll just stand there, unmoving. This meant that if I could get the angle just right, I could actually get a chain of hard-hitting sneak attacks on him, because in VATS, if you hit someone from behind with a sneak attack, until the time that they're able to turn around, every subsequent attack also gets the sneak attack bonus.
Ah, he got a shot off. That was so close. If we could disarm his stronger weapon, I could beat him like that while I only have to get 1 disarm if he stays there. He's stimpacked. Oh, but we got him fully disarmed with all the different hits. He picked up a gun. He's trying to pick up a gun. What? He can get a kill cam. He can get a kill cam when punching. Like that. Oh, he threw a grenade this time. That's fine. Do that more. That one went well. That one went really well. Oh, he's got his back to me. This could be it right here. Goodbye, Mr. Cereal. I have completed it. Woo!
After having myself a quick bowl of cereal, I was off to the roof to watch my brothers-in-arms arriving in the Commonwealth. But no time for that now because I was beginning to set my sights on the glowing sea. Obviously, the main issue here was the lack of any serious radiation resistance, but there is a perk that does exactly that. Although my main goal was to take that as few of times as possible to clear the glowing sea, since I really wouldn't need it for anything else. Before doing that though, I did have to go and take a quick stroll through Kellogg's Memories, which thankfully isn't made any more difficult with this run. And while in that area of the map, I decided to finally take my revenge on Hangman's Alley and secure it as a settlement.
There's one. Did any of them blow themselves up earlier? Two. I interrupted that. You should not be healing. We got him! Holy crap! Yes!
From there I was off to Egret Tours Marina, where I scrapped everything and did more shelf spam to get a perk built up, but I didn't use it just yet because I did want to try the glowing sea once without any radiation resistance first to see how that went.
Oh yeah. Nope, shouldn't have went through there. That sealed it. I thought as long as you didn't like walk in the stuff, you'd be fine. I was wrong.
And that went horribly and earned me my 100th death. I then immediately used the perk I'd been saving on rad resistant, turning the previously 6 rads per second in the glowing sea down to a much more manageable 2 rads per second. So for the second attempt, I just tried the same thing again, and this time I did make it all the way to Virgil's cave, but I didn't make it that far on the way out.
The rads have so got me, and I'm stuck on that anyway. What am I stuck on? Come on! Really? What was that?
Looking at the map, it did seem to be a slightly shorter distance from the farthest south point in the Commonwealth to Virgil's cave than the diagonal path that I had been taking. That, and I didn't have to pass the crater, which was becoming a pretty annoying obstacle.
We're so stinking close. We're gonna die. Just for the record, this is where we made it to. Come on, just let the radiation end. Let it end right now. Frick! Whoa! That's by far the best we've done, y'all. Holy crap, look at that. We're well under half.
Because last time we almost made it with less than half. So with over half, we should be so good.
We came this way, so we're gonna go this way because I liked the route we were on. It's because there's a lot of heavy radiation areas around here, and this seemed like a good way to route around them that also seemed to mostly avoid some of the worst, like, enemy spawns around here. I did hear a death claw, so that part sucks, but I think there's 2 death claws now. This is that same area with the 2 rad scorpions that we hit every time. This is getting rough. Okay, 2 of them head on. Dead. Frick. What happened to my route from before? Why is there 8,000 rad scorpions this time?
The natural enemy of over self-confidence. A horde of rad scorpions. At this point, I began using the relay tower at the southern border of the map as both my entry and exit point of the glowing sea. It was fairly tall, so I could spot it pretty easily from either direction, and it was right on the edge of where the radiation started and stopped. From the relay tower, I would head right in between these 2 broken segments of bridge, which is about where the radiation would normally start. I mention all of this because you can see all of it at the end of attempt 5, which got by far the closest I had been so far.
Oh my gosh, I can see the radio tower. I can see it, and that's why this is going to be more heartbreaking. We're out of AP now. Come on! Come on! The rad should stop now! Please, are you freaking kidding me? Come on! We're on the same bridge we died on last time. This is it. We're not making it. We're not freaking making it. It's happening again, y'all. It went up to 4 from the freaking lightning. The lightning got me. There's that cave. We went near it a bunch of times, but never like actually over it like this. Our radiation's increasing for some reason, and I have no idea why. Why is it going up? Is it just the cave? Is the cave just a higher radiation hotspot? What's up with that? What's up with that? Oh, that screwed it. We're dead. Just go. We're going east. We're going east. By the way, that spot, I was not taking radiation damage in that spot before going in. I was not. 5, 6, 7. From what? From what? That rock? We're on the cave again. We've got to avoid that cave. How do we keep ending up on there now when we were not before? 6 rads, 5 rads. It's the mole rat area. Mole rat killed me. Okay.
Around this time, I also did decide to test a theory that I had had, and that's that the radiation starts later on the way in than where it ends on the way out of the glowing sea.
And at what point does the rads stop? Just so we know what we're looking for. Where do the rads stop at? See, look, on the way out, the rads go for longer than on the way in. You have to clear the tower. The rads don't stop till here. They don't start till way over there, but they don't stop till here. The game has 2 different states. There's the glowing sea state, and there is the normal game state. The transitioning between the states takes a little bit. So you take radiation in spots you shouldn't, or don't take radiation in spots you should on the way in and on the way out, which can really mess up your metrics on how far you actually have to go. Barely under half, but we do have to go farther on the way out than on the way in. There's a decent shot at this point, and I've learned a lot, so here goes something, y'all. Oh yeah, we've got a radiation storm now, so we have to play perfect. And 7 rads for no reason there for a second, so that's not perfect. We're not going to get far enough. We're so freaking close. We are so freaking close. I'm out of AP. This is right where it stopped before, but there's a radiation storm. It stopped. It stopped. If the lightning bolts could still get me though. Oh shoot. We got to find a bed. Please let me sleep in one of these beds. Yes!
I didn't feel super confident in my ability to take on a courser at Green Tech Genetics, so I did decide to run a few errands first. Namely, I was back off to Taffington Boathouse and Covenant.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like... Oh, it's still there. It's not moving. Oh, dude. I've been cautioned. Did you hear that? Could you move? Could you not be on the ceiling like that? You're freaking me the heck out. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I hate these things. Oh, bleh. That's so gross. Get out. Get out of here. I cannot look at you anymore. Get out of here. What am I even punching? Yeah, push it down. And it was already dead. Purge the mind, everybody. Purge the mind's eye. That was... I hated that. I hated that.
At this point, I finally accepted that if I wanted Covenant as a settlement, I was just going to have to kill all of the residents.
Nobody's really bothered by that. Will the people in Covenant get mad at me for doing this? Seems that way. Oh, okay, so if you never actually get seen, they go back to being chill. Sure, yeah, that worked as intended. Oh, gosh, she looked at me. She doesn't want to say it because she knows what's going to happen if she does.
Enjoy your stay.
Oh, you've done it now, Penny. You've done it now. You enjoy your stay, Penny. Your stay on the ground. On the ground. Get out of here, Ted. Nobody likes you, Ted. Nobody wants you here, Ted. Yo, I think we did it. I think we did it. Let me use the workbench. Come on. Yes! Yo, we got Covenant!
I did go ahead and scrap everything in Covenant, but I didn't grind any XP here because I did have plans for the settlement for later. But with that, I had put it off long enough, so it was finally time for Green Tech Genetics. I spent over 2 hours on just Green Tech, so to make things go a little faster, I'm just going to give you a general rundown of how that went. The general plan of attack was to run in, kill 1 to 2 gunners, and then run back out to go sleep in a bed. Every new group of gunners I came across came with their own little quirks to figure out, sort of like puzzle solving, but most of them could be beaten with some combination of stealth and blitz rank 2. Really, the first big issue I hit was the gunner halfway up on a bridge with a missile launcher. However, I got lucky and managed to blitz kill him before he even saw me. There's a pretty tightly packed group of gunners here, so taking them out one by one was really time consuming.
He has 2 guns? You're not allowed to have 2 guns. Get out of here. We can leave and say we killed someone. That little jump over the edge there is going to save me so much time. Nice. Here goes something. Oh. Yes. Nope, there's 2 more. Well, we got the double sneak. Yes.
I did start seeing an interesting glitch that happens a lot with Blitz Rank 2 that for once actually worked out in my favor. I call these psychic punches. For some reason, while melee breaks all the time in VATS, other times it will be insistent on making the hit go through even if the physics don't allow it. This results in a weird glitch where my character doesn't move, but still punches the enemy as if he was beside them. Something about this room in particular completely broke the physics and resulted in a lot of psychic punches, and I really have no idea why.
Oh, here we go, from behind. This is it. Oh my gosh!
After making it to the top though, it was finally time to fight the Courser, which as you can imagine was no easy feat. He either spawns with 2 guns or just takes one off the gunners he's interrogating, but either way you look at it, every time I would disarm him, he would just pull out a second gun the same way that Kellogg did. This isn't too big of a problem since he does fight by himself, but he does have multiple stim packs he'll use in the fight. Also, I don't know if I either took a lot of limb damage on the way up or if he just punches like a truck, but every time I tried to have a brawl with him, he would almost immediately break one or both of my arms. And I was barely hurting him with no crippled limbs, but with 1 or 2 broken arms, I effectively did no damage per punch. After a few attempts, I finally got one where I did a massive amount of damage with sneak attacks before we even started to brawl, making it actually feasible for me to stand a chance.
He just crippled me in VATS? Are you serious? What is in this dude's fists? I mean, he's a synth, so maybe metal. Can we tell if we're even making any significant headway here? I just realized something. Can we cheese Blitz? He can get a melee finisher at this point. So can I! Yes!
After finally taking him down, all I had to do was run the chip over to the railroad, which I had no problems getting to, just take my word for that. And after having it decoded, then all I had to do was go back into the glowing sea. After getting the plans from Virgil, we'll be straight on to building the teleporter. You know how I mentioned earlier that a military-grade circuit board was going to specifically be needed for that? Well, there's one other specific item that's needed, and that's a biometric scanner. Now, I've been kind of dreading this the entire time because I didn't have any solid leads on where to get one. However, in this moment, I became incredibly glad I was live streaming this as someone in my chat found a static spawn of one out in the Commonwealth, as in not behind a load zone. Sweet, so all I had to do was levitate it in front of me like I did the military-grade circuit board and run it to the nearest settlement. And there's so many settlements on the map, it's not like anything's very far from... Oh, come on! So yeah, the only static location for a biometric scanner any of us could find was in the Decrepit factory in, you guessed it, the middle of the glowing sea. Since the Decrepit factory wasn't quite as deep into the glowing sea and I didn't know how high the radiation was going to be there, I decided to do it first, and you might be surprised at how it went.
Okay, so we're going in this building right here. We're already on the right side of it. I'm only taking 5 right now. Biometric scanner where? There it is. I'm only taking 6 per second. Y'all, this could be it. Holy crap. Holy crap, this is getting very real very fast. Y'all, this is great. This is great. This is a biometric scanner. Holy crap, I thought this part was going to take me a lot longer. If I can get this first try... Oh wait, no, there's the tower. We see the radio tower. We're home free almost. Come on, get me out of here. The radiation has stopped. Okay, as long as this thing doesn't glitch out or anything between here and Egret Tours, we're good. Ooh, don't drop it. Don't drop it. And don't clip out of existence. The way that it's like jiggling makes me really worried it's going to lag out. We got enough rats left. We can take the water and be fine. Oh, shoot. Not with those guys, though. Mirelurk Kings have a ranged attack. We cannot mess with that. Wait, this is it, right? This is it? Yeah, this is the freaking marina. Okay. We gingerly place it on the ground. Yes! Yo, we did it! Look at that.
Just like that, I had checked off the only other specific component I needed for the teleporter. Now, since it was stored at a different workshop than the military-grade circuit board, I would have to get the local leader perk in order to build the teleporter, but I was always kind of assuming that would be the case anyway. However, that means I've stalled long enough and it's time to finally head back to Virgil's cave. The combination of well-rested and Action Boy made a huge difference though, and got me to Virgil's cave at my best pace yet. Honestly, even if I completely screwed up my routing on the way back, as long as I didn't run into any enemies.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Well, that never happened before.
I don't know what caused the Deathclaw to be in a different position that time, if maybe I just skipped through the Virgil conversation slightly faster than normal or what, but that was incredibly unfortunate. Thankfully, I only failed one attempt due to radiation after that before getting a successful run on try number 3.
Freaking go, dude, go. Come on. Come on. Okay, the radiation should stop now. It should stop now. Stop. Stop, radiation. Please, 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 please. It lets you sleep here. Yes!
It was finally time to ride over to the Pridwood and build the teleporter with the Brotherhood of Steel, and after very seriously listening to Maxon address the crew, I was finally ready to start on that teleporter.
We have to do this first?
So, being someone who really doesn't like the Brotherhood of Steel, I realized that I might be a little unfamiliar with how their questline plays out, in the sense that I didn't know you had to take Fort Strong before you could build the teleporter. Well, I'm drastically underprepared for that quest. However, there's a plethora of different side and Radiant quests you can get from the Brotherhood, and one in particular really intrigued me. You see, I'd heard a rumor about a particular Brotherhood Radiant quest that Proctor Quinlan gives you to escort a scribe to go and recover some lost tech. If the scribe dies at any point during the quest, not only will Proctor Quinlan not care about the piece of technology he sent you for, but he will still pay you and give you XP as if you completed it the way you were supposed to. The game does not check here for what killed the scribe, or in my case, what ate the scribe. Proctor Quinlan will just continue to send me as many scribes as I can eat, and as long as no one sees me doing it, they don't ever question why I have such a terrible track record of these missions. Additionally, before turning the quest in, I would sleep upstairs in a bed to get the well-rested bonus, and then reload until I got the 5x Idiot Savant proc. Should I have done that? Who's to say? Did I do that? You betcha.
Oh no, something atrociously horrible happened here. What could have occurred?
I didn't do it for long though, just enough to gain 4 levels. The first 3 I put into Strength, and the 4th I put into the final rank of Sneak, all of which I thought would be incredibly useful for clearing out Fort Strong. Now this is where I'm going to get just a tad bit controversial. The mounted minigun on a vertibird isn't actually an item that enters my inventory. It's effectively a piece of the environment I interact with, the same as the teleporter components that I levitated back over to a settlement. While a bit of a silly technicality, based on the rules I set out, it doesn't count as using an item. So naturally, I completely ignored the vertibird I was supposed to ride and instead walked over to Fort Strong by my lonesome to fight all the super mutants. Hey, I may shamelessly grind up Brotherhood scribes for XP, but I'm no coward. Thankfully, there is an old mattress on the ground just before the bridge to the fort, so resets didn't take that long, and what ended up working was effectively alerting them that I was there, running away to bait them away from Fort Strong, and then killing them as they tried to walk back. While the majority of super mutants at Fort Strong are just standard super mutants and can go down in a couple of punches, for whatever reason, almost all of the ones that aren't are specifically legendary super mutant butchers. Thankfully, with the right combination of a max distance blitz with a sneak attack, I could get through them fairly consistently, but there were just so many. Anyway, obviously the biggest problem here was the behemoth. From the time I landed my first punch on him to when I finally took him down was just under 25 minutes. What finally worked was, you guessed it, long-range blitz sneak attacks and then running to a bed like my life depended on it, because it very much did. Thankfully, virtually no enemies in Fallout 4 regenerate health over time unless you completely leave and don't come back for quite a while. So every time I came back, the damage I had done was still there. This still took quite a while though, because anytime I'd hit him in melee, he would almost always instantly retaliate with the attack that stomps the ground and deals damage in a wide area around him. Even if I could get away from his stomp, he would then immediately begin hucking rocks at me, which, fun fact, home in on you for some reason.
I literally jumped off a bridge to try and avoid that and it still hit me. Are you serious, dude? What the crap, were you a Major League Baseball pitcher? What were you in your past life?
You can't dodge these at all unless he just misses for some reason. They would even hit me while swimming underwater sometimes, which was just awful. Given enough time and good luck though, I did eventually whittle his health down and find a way to kill him.
Yes! You cannot eat the behemoth? What? How do I assert my dominance? Let me eat you, you big ugly monster! Let me do it! I'm hungry! Munchy munchy, eat that muty thigh.
After that, there were only a few more to clean up outside, 2 of which were legendary butchers though, so that took a little bit. But then once making it inside, it wasn't too long before I found a route to finish.
I don't know why that missed, but that was really unfortunate. I'm wondering if we can just loop them here and get hidden. Oh, we're still hidden. Okay. He's hard scoping, y'all. We don't take any risks here. We kill him. Y'all, we did it. Yeah!
Paladin Dance then showed up to relieve me and spew his ideologies all over me before I could head back up to the Bridwin. From there, it was finally time for Covenant to become useful, because you don't actually have to build the teleporter at Boston Airport even if you're siding with the Brotherhood. Proctor Ingram will just sort of show up wherever you build the base. Covenant had plenty of settlers since I set up a recruitment beacon there earlier, which thanks to local leader, I could assign to all of my other settlements that still had any resources left in them. This gave me plenty of miscellaneous junk to build all the different teleporter components and the generators to power it, and by carefully choosing when I assigned these settlers to supply lines, I was able to use the military-grade circuit board from Red Rocket and the biometric scanner from Egret Tours Marina to finally gain access to the teleporter into the Institute.
Dan, these are my two greatest friends in the world. I'm so glad you're here to see this. And that cat. Mittens, maybe? I don't know. We're doing it! Yes! Y'all, it only took us 37 hours and 40 minutes and getting all the way to level 41, but we're in the Institute.
Upon arriving, I met with the leader of the Institute himself, who they all called Father, who had quite the little plot twist waiting for me.
We found him. We found Sean. We've been looking for him for almost 38 hours. We've died 164 times for it, and he's here.
It's true.
We found him.
I didn't spend that much time in the Institute on my first trip. I did meet Father and all the different division leaders, but then I left because I had something I needed to take care of real quick. Since I was entering the final phase of the main questline and the game sees a pretty big difficulty spike here, I decided it was time to stop messing around and went to go do some serious XP grinding to get some much needed perks. And this meant a lot of scribes were about to give their life for the cause. Listen, I know it's super lame to grind out the same cheap quest over and over again with Idiot Savant, but it is kind of funny. So yeah, I got to work killing and eating more and more Brotherhood scribes, and Quinlan just kept handing them to me on a silver platter. At this point, it's really kind of their own fault. I ended up grinding all the way from level 41 to level 57. And obviously I took a lot of perks here, but just know that every single one of them was geared specifically towards increasing my damage output. I took my strength all the way to level 9 and took both Rooted 1 and 2. In case you didn't know, Rooted increases both your damage output and reduces your damage received by 50% at rank 2 while stationary. Every attack in VATS counts as stationary, even when using Blitz, so this meant that almost every attack I was going to do for the rest of the run would be 50% more powerful, which was a big change. And finally, and possibly most importantly, I finally got to Iron Fist rank 5. Rank 5 of Iron Fist is effectively the paralyzing palm perk from previous Fallout games. Whenever I get a critical strike on someone while unarmed, they become paralyzed for a few seconds and fall to the ground. This doesn't affect everyone though. Enemies in power armor, oversized enemies, and robots are completely unaffected, but for anyone it can affect, it has a 100% chance of working with every crit. Trust me when I say this became increasingly valuable as the run went on. With all of this new power though, I clearly had to give it a test drive, and looking around there was one pretty obvious target to test it on. So I saved the game and headed over to Elder Maxon's quarters to see how I would fare against the leader of a faction. Oh no! Instead of reloading the game, somehow I accidentally ate Elder Maxon and then ran away from all the Brotherhood Knights with miniguns, jumped off the Pridwin and into the tiny pool of water you can safely land in below, and then I accidentally teleported into the Institute and slept in a bed, therefore saving the game and locking this decision in for the rest of the run. Darn it, Magoo, you done goofed again.
We've been looking for Sean. Did you think after all of this, Brotherhood Schmotherhood, we found Sean? We're not gonna just leave him. Mankind redefined. It makes sense, just it rhymes. Just think about it, y'all. Mankind redefined, that's some next level thinking. I might not have any items, but they have so many, and I could at least live a life surrounded by nice, ergonomic, very clean, professional instruments and items. Did y'all really think, by any stretch of the human imagination, that I would side with the freaking Brotherhood of Steel? What do you take me for? What kind of a crazed human would side with such obviously evil people?
Now, if you're currently thinking that there's no way I cleared out all of Fort Strong with nothing but my fists for this one throwaway joke, then hi. My name's Magoo, and I torture myself in video games for your entertainment. It's nice to meet you. So anyway, elderly son, confusing relationship, Robo-Papa told me that there was a synth that needed reclaiming, so I was off to meet up with Letter's numbers at Libertalia to get him back. Libertalia is never too difficult since you could bypass the majority of it by just swimming to the boat at the end, but it is a great place to demonstrate the biggest problem I've been having in this run with VATS. I discovered early on in this run that Blitz uses the same AI pathing that NPCs do when in VATS, which isn't inherently a problem until you get to uneven elevation. For whatever reason, any tiny changes in your character's vertical coordinate while in VATS will cause him to do this sort of tiny little hop and lose an attack in VATS. Since the majority of Libertalia is a floating base made out of trash, the elevation is drastically inconsistent and sometimes even changing, meaning effectively, I couldn't even use VATS here. So finally, I just completely gave up and swam straight to the area where the leader is, trying my best to be as quiet as possible to not draw the attention of the raider with the fat man. And while there were a couple of mishaps, it wasn't long before I could clear out enough raiders to sleep in one of the beds there. From there, I just gave the synth his recall codes and then blitz slammed his friends before teleporting back to the Institute to receive praise from either my father or my son, I seem to have already forgotten, who shipped me immediately off to Bunker Hill. So, Bunker Hill sort of broke the game in half, and I'm still not 100% sure how it happened, but let me give you the quick rundown. For starters, I just died a lot. There were a bunch of synths to help me out, so it was definitely possible, but it was incredibly tedious since I was there completely naked against Brotherhood soldiers in full power armor. However, I do want to highlight this one moment.
Come on, get me within range. Hidden. Field escapes. Escaped synths.
Oh! Did you catch it? No, not me ending a Brotherhood soldier in full power armor with a single punch. No, the thing that happened right before that. That right there was the entire quest breaking and making it impossible for me to complete in the way I had planned to. So unless I'm mistaken, this courser is supposed to be marked as essential and can't be killed by anyone but the player. That makes sure that you have the complete choice as to which faction you complete this quest with. Now, I genuinely have no idea how this happened. If maybe I somehow punched a car by accident and it blew up and killed him, but somehow he took enough damage to die and the game marked that damage as coming from me. I didn't notice this at the time, which meant that as I was slowly and systematically clearing out the entirety of Bunker Hill, I was doing so with no actual chance of completing the quest as intended. Also, just getting to the synths was incredibly difficult since all of the railroad agents there had Gauss rifles. Like literally every single one of them, and if they shot me with any amount of charge on them, I insta-died. There were also multiple turrets there that could completely eviscerate me, but thankfully due to a combination of blitz, sneak attacks, and the aggressive use of my paralyzing punches, I was able to clear everything out there and make it to the synths. Only to realize that I couldn't actually recall them to the Institute since the courser was dead.
Yeah, I got no dialogue options.
I searched everywhere on the internet to see if there was a way to fix this quest, even if it required the use of the console, but even with console commands, once you had made it to this stage in the quest, there was no easy way to undo it. So ultimately, I did the only thing I could do. I headed all the way back over to the CIT ruins and onto the rooftop to talk to Father, who scolded me for something I did completely right on my end, but at least I could continue to progress with the main quest line, since Father will ultimately forgive you no matter how many times you screw up for some reason. From there, I got to sit through the always pleasant directorate meeting where Father told all of the Institute leaders that I would be the new director for them to effectively just boo and throw tomatoes at me before going off to meet with Allie Fillmore to teleport into mass fusion. Now, when planning for this run, I assumed from the beginning that this was going to be the hardest quest that I faced. And I was completely correct, but for the entirely wrong reasons. Clearing the Brotherhood soldiers from the rooftop wasn't overly difficult, but I was really nervous about the elevator ride down mass fusion, since the only way you can fight the Brotherhood here is by shooting them, which I cannot do, and the only way I can regain health is if I'm unseen, which I somehow was? It makes no logical sense how the Brotherhood could not see the only other person standing next to the Institute scientist on the elevator they were shooting at, but somehow they couldn't. So I was able to safely ride all the way to the bottom and then kill all the Brotherhood soldiers once I got down there, without any major issues. From there was a quick ride down to the ground floor where, funnily enough, the turrets in mass fusion and the Brotherhood were fighting each other, so I just kind of got to watch until they were all dead, and then I could sleep in one of the sleeping bags on the ground floor to lock in my progress. That wasn't actually my main concern with this quest though. What I was mostly worried about was the Sentry Bot and 2 Assaultrons I had to fight in the basement, since they have very high damage resistance, and I only have 2 fists, so this was going to be the roughest robo hoedown I've ever had. But before the defense system would even trigger, I first had to run in and grab the beryllium agitate. Oh no.
Not even close! Okay, we need rad resistance. We need much more rad resistance, y'all.
Now, you may think I'm a little dumb for overlooking this up until this point, but to be fair, anytime I've ever done this quest, I just threw on one of the hazmat suits they give you right before you walk in the door, in which you take less than 1 radiation per second the entire time. So I actually never knew that the rads in here were like 20 times as deadly as the glowing sea. Thankfully though, I do only have rank 1 of rad resistant right now, so with 3 more ranks to get, I'm sure I can clear this. I just need to go do some more XP grinding. So I just went and saved a kidnapped synth, did some shelf spam, and then convinced the bioscience boys to stop acting all foolish to get 2 levels before heading back in. Even with rad resistant rank 3, I couldn't even make a loop through the reactor room and get back into the airlock before dying, and that's without even accounting for the time it takes to pick up the beryllium agitator. I was getting concerned, but before panicking, I reloaded back to the Institute again and went to go grind a little bit more XP for the final rank of rad resistant. This time I just went around to a bunch of different random locations to try and find strong enemies to clear out, one of which might surprise you a bit.
I don't think it'll work. I'm almost positive this is gonna break bats, but we're gonna try it. Guys? Excuse me?
One-shotting the most notorious enemy in the game still wasn't nearly enough XP to level up, so I did one last Institute Radiant quest and then just save scummed until I got Idiot Savant to finally get the last perk I needed. Guess what? I got to clear out the entirety of Mass Fusion for a 3rd time just to get back down to the basement. In order to remove the time it takes for the weird spiky ball to rotate and reveal the agitator, I decided to do this in 2 phases. So you can actually run into the room and hit the button that reveals the agitator and then just run straight back out and purge your radiation and then go back in afterwards if you want. This does require me to run through the room twice, but at least lets me go through in one continuous motion every time instead of having to stand there and wait, which was very obviously going to be completely impossible. Well, this was it. Either I'm going to be able to get it or I'm not, so here goes nothing.
Now it's 82. Did it even press the button? Okay, this is theoretically possible.
So that was bad, but it was a lot closer than it was before, and there are still a few optimizations that can be made. There's 2 different ways to look at it. I either need to get in and out faster, or take less radiation damage. However, there are no in-game ways to increase the player character's movement speed without items. And there are no further ways to increase the player character's radiation resistance without items. There is technically the 3rd rank of the Ghoulish perk, which reduces your radiation by 1 point per second, but since I'm in there for all of 8 seconds, and I'm not even sure if that works while you're taking radiation damage, it wasn't going to be helpful in the slightest. While I couldn't increase my movement speed, I can move really fast whenever I use Blitz, so my first idea was to try and get Allie Fillmore somewhere in the airlock so that I could blitz back to her to get in there quicker. I did find out that you could move her by punching her, and that I could punch her an infinite number of times without her getting mad. So I beat the snot out of her into the airlock and gave that a try. Remember how earlier I mentioned that Blitz uses the same AI as NPC pathing? Well, since an NPC's only way out would be to walk the entire catwalk, it was too far of a distance for me to blitz to her. I did, however, have a hunch that this location didn't work the way you would expect it to if you looked under the hood. My guess was that the area wasn't actually irradiated, but rather that pushing the button and opening the airlock just turned on the radiation for the entire zone. In order to test this, I had another one-sided boxing match with Allie Fillmore to get her outside the door, so that when I pressed the button, I could instantly blitz to where she was standing, and come to find out, I was right. Once the airlock door is closed, the radiation for the entire reactor room is completely turned off. But I'm sure you can see what the problem with this strategy was, and that's that I had no way to get back out. I thought maybe I could clip my way back out by punching her back over to the door and then attacking her in VATS to try and clip through, but I couldn't find any way to make it work. And it was getting really annoying because the turrets were shooting at me, and she kept running over to this one corner of the catwalk that was really far away from the door for some reason. But finally, after literal hours of trying to complete this quest, that gave me an idea that I thought might just barely have a chance of working. But unfortunately for her, this would require more of the unwilling participation of Allie Fillmore. So it started with me punching her back into the airlock to trigger it, but this time taking things a step farther. I continued to walk her backwards until she was in the reactor room and then sealed her inside. Don't worry, unlike me, Allie Fillmore is in a hazmat suit, and therefore is taking virtually no radiation damage, and besides, we know the radiation gets turned off as soon as we close the doors anyway, so she's fine. My hope was that she would go and stand in that same place she was getting stuck earlier, but instead, when I wasn't in there with her, she just stood not too far away from the door. I wasn't going to let that deter me though, so I opened the door and blitzed to her, activating a paralyzing strike before running back through and closing off the airlock again. Since after recovering from paralysis, it seems the game resets the AI of an NPC, she got confused again and went and stood in that same spot from earlier.
Look, there she is. That did it. If I paralyze her, it freaks her out.
Finally, I had all of the pieces lined up. I opened the door, ran outside, immediately triggered VATS, and blitzed all the way to where Allie was, drastically shortening the distance between me and the agitator, and then tried to run my way through and get back into the airlock. And I died. However, after blitzing, I got really confused in what direction I was facing and just overall had really poor pathing through that, so I wanted to try it again. So after aggressively nudging Allie back into the reactor room and getting everything set up, this happened.
Wasn't perfect, but it was better than last time. Yes. We hit the button, y'all. We hit the button.
That's right. Without using a single item or even like clipping through something I wasn't supposed to be able to, I had done it. I had successfully pressed the button to unlock the beryllium agitator. And thankfully, you're able to just leave the airlock at this point, so I ran back upstairs to sleep in a sleeping bag because I was halfway to having this thing. Of course, naturally this meant that I had to do it again. So I went back down to repeat the same process, and I died. However, Allie Fillmore's quite the trooper and offered to give me another shot, so I not so gently repositioned her into the reactor and gave it one more try.
Good. That was really clean. Just don't miss the button. Miss the button.
Incredibly, I had actually done it. And now I just had to survive Robo Hoedown with the smallest sliver of HP I've ever seen on my character. Thankfully, and quite strangely, both the SentryBot and Protectron don't actually activate until you re-enter the main room, meaning I could just sit there completely hidden and let Lifegiver Rank 3 slowly refill my HP to full. However, there is a turret in the ceiling here that I have absolutely no way of defeating, so I did need to get Allie back, which meant I had to reopen the reactor and punch her all the way back into the airlock, which took a couple attempts, but I eventually managed it. While I was trying to play it safe, I knew realistically I was only going to have one good chance for sneak attacks on the SentryBot, so once I entered the room, I went for it.
It's a good start. It's a good start. They're killing Allie right now, but that's fine. Yeah, I need to regen with Lifegiver before I go back out there. Boy, he is overheating, though. I do forget that they do that. Allie got him!
I can't begin to express to you how excited I was that Allie got the last couple of hits on the SentryBot. I had no plan for how to survive the explosion from killing it, but I was about to run in and start punching it again, so that really was a huge relief. However, as I'm sure you know, this was far from over, as on the way out you get absolutely assaulted by these two robots that, I forget what they're called, but they're really scary. Thankfully though, like before, I knew I could likely get sneak attacks on at least one of them, so I threw caution to the wind and went straight at them.
Oh, we got one. I went the wrong way. I'm dead. Just get around the corner. Let it fight Allie. Oh, hold on. Maybe I'm not dead. Recycle it. That was close. That was really freaking close. Oh, she's got the thing fully charged. I need Allie to wake up and take a death beam to the face. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. This could be it. Bam! Are we good? It's only the two of them, isn't it? Oh, we got a Protectron. That's not a big deal. We got it? I gotta get out of here right freaking now and go sleep in that freaking sleeping bag.
Well, that certainly wasn't uncomfortably close and uniquely terrifying, but from there I just had to take the elevator back up, nervously help the Synths deal with the Brotherhood soldiers that were left behind, and finally get over to the sleeping bag to save the game and know for a fact that I never had to do that again. In case you were wondering, from the time I initially entered Mass Fusion and discovered this problem until now was a little bit over 5.5 hours, all completed in one sitting while I slowly but surely lost my mind. Then I just had to coax a scientist out of his bathroom, tell the entire Commonwealth that the Institute totally wasn't going to kill them, pinky promise, plug in some random junk in Travis's trailer, quest items, by the way, and then jump for joy as Father shared the good news to the rest of the Institute of my heroics. After a quick round of Directorate 2 Institute Boogaloo, Sean decided I must not have suffered enough and sent me to go single-handedly kill every single member of the Railroad. Again, while naked and with no items. I'm starting to think Sean might not like me very much. There were two things that made this much easier though. For starters, they weren't actually hostile towards me since I haven't directly upset the Railroad. Somehow.
Good. Let's eat him real quick.
This meant I could enter completely uncontested, which leads me to the second thing, that there's a single mattress in the Railroad that you can sleep in even if you aren't allied with them, meaning I had a save point right in the middle of their HQ. I used this poorly placed non-aggression to sneak attack kill Glory before combat even started. However, as we've seen time and time again, I'm not super good when outnumbered.
Paralyze him. Go ahead and kill Dez. Paralyze this one. And now we run for a sec. Oh, they got the minigun. Yeah, this is going to be it.
After many deaths, I did finally come up with a plan to beat this. I would start by taking out Glory and 1 to 2 Railroad agents before running off into the Old North Church, where for some reason the same 2 Railroad agents would follow me by themselves every single time, which, was not their greatest idea. Then I could go back in, take out a single agent, and head back into the Old North Church and not be followed as many times as I wanted, which actually only took me once or twice before there were few enough people left that I could just fight them all in like a 1v6.
Deacon got all his health back, so that's a bummer. Not really.
After sorrowfully snacking on every single member of my personal favorite faction in the game, I teleported back into the Institute to receive my final orders from Sean. It was finally time to get rid of the influence of the worst thing to ever happen to the Commonwealth by reprogramming their giant death robot to see them all as communists. However, as absolutely expected, this was completely terrible. I initially attempted this the way the game seems to expect you to, by sneaking through the gaping hole in the wall and taking out all the Brotherhood soldiers immediately inside, including our boy Proctor Quinlan, RIP, thanks for your assistance, before heading upstairs to try and take out the weird tripod generators. The issue I kept hitting with this method is that the staircase just opens up to, well, everyone staring at you, and I couldn't find an easy path to one of the generators that did not result in me coming face to face with a Brotherhood Knight in full power armor that I could not manage to sneak attack. This whole thing was really tedious and I was going about it very slowly, and then that caused resets to take a very long time, especially since they were having to re-teleport me back in every time from the Institute. But then I remembered something. I was allied with the Brotherhood earlier in this run, which means I used to have the Boston Airport as a settlement. Now, once you upset the Brotherhood, that's taken away from you, but I snuck over there to thankfully discover that the bed and water fountains I had placed there earlier in the run were still there. I had a save point, baby! This meant I could slowly but systematically sneak my way around, kill a few Brotherhood members, and then go back to the bed to lock in my progress. The main issue here is that the area around Liberty Prime is surrounded by a bunch of mounted turrets that are too high to reach. So even if I can get Brotherhood soldiers away to take them out, there's really no way to get near it because I will be spotted by the turrets and killed every single time. So eventually, even after doing all of that, I realized that the only real way to handle this was to go through that same hole in the wall I had tried to begin with and just find a way through it. Also, somewhere along the way, all of the bodies started glitching out and floating in the sky, and what I can only assume is the Brotherhood's attempt to intimidate me, but I will not fall for their witchcraft. I have an honorable goal that I will succeed on. Anyway, I finally found a path to success where there was an elevator that led up to a generator that just had one unarmored Brotherhood soldier and one knight in power armor that I could take out if I saved all 4 of my crits. And I'm gonna be honest with you, even with my extensive track record in this game, I don't think I've ever completed the main quest with the Institute before. They always just kind of bugged me, and I pretty much always go with either the Railroad or the Minutemen. So, based on the way they explained it, I was under the impression that after taking out the generators, the synths would only warp in if I used the relay grenades, which naturally I dropped on the ground way back in the Institute. They're items, I can't have those. So I was actually stunned when I broke the first generator and synths just started appearing all around me.
Wait, synths just warped in. I didn't have to call the synths in. So you're telling me if I just sprinted right at these things and started punching them, I'd start getting synths this whole time?
Needless to say, this made the rest of it way easier because all of the Brotherhood soldiers weren't shooting at me exclusively, and with Blitz, I could take most of them down pretty easy if I wasn't actively dying. So yeah, it took some doing and some retries, but eventually I made it around to each of the other generators and took them out. And then, just for good measure, went out to the area around Liberty Prime and did take out all of those turrets before getting close enough to proceed with the quest. I was very nervous for the final assault on Liberty Prime. The synth that's hacking him will continue to respawn every time he dies, but it does take time, and while the synths I'm fighting with respawn infinitely, so do all of the Brotherhood soldiers, so the game kind of assumes that you will be the catalyst in this fight, which I didn't have a high degree of confidence in my ability to do. I may have underestimated myself though, because I was very pleasantly surprised with the number of Brotherhood soldiers that weren't in power armor that I could absolutely demolish. Heck, I was just blitzing all over the airport, just decimating these guys. Sure, the synth hacking Liberty Prime did die once or twice since I wasn't up there to body block for him, but the Institute kept sending replacements, so as long as the percentage kept going up, I was just running around snacking on the Brotherhood boys to my heart's content. In the midst of the fight, I did hit level 65, collecting my final perk, the best one in the game.
We take Aqua Boy! Aqua Boy!
And amazingly, I somehow managed to survive the end of this quest on my very first try, and then got to see my favorite sight in all of Fallout.
Yes! Let's go! Look at it go! Yes! Woo!
Then, all that was left to do was to say goodbye to Sean in the only way I knew how. And that's how, after 55 hours and 233 deaths, I beat Fallout 4 without ever using a single item. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. Believe it or not, I actually had a lot of fun with this run. And an even bigger thank you to all of the channel members listed here for your continued support. If you want to learn more about becoming a member of the channel, click the join button down below. Or if you just want to see more content like this, click over here to see my attempt at this same challenge in Skyrim. But until next time, as always, I am Magoo, peace and out. Later.